Hello, you're welcome to Gist Arena. All we do is just. We discuss topical, trending, and exciting topics, and we have fun while at it. We invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy each thrilling moment of just.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Academic. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you doing?
I am good. I'm great. Thank you. How has your week been so far?
Sorry?
I said, how has your week been so far?
It's been work. It's been a working week.
Yeah, not that.
Thank God.
You will know work must not stop. So,
No work, no pay.
And thank God for the opportunity to work. So,
Thank
all
God.
right. Okay. Sorry, Cynthia is not here. She's become so busy these days. I mean, she's a big girl, so.
No, I was going to ask that. Is there Cynthia? Is she still anywhere in West Africa?
Yeah, well, the last I saw her, she did West Africa, but I don't know. Anything might have happened between then and now. ah, it's okay. It's good. All right. So, welcome to Gist Arena. What are we discussing today? This one, that's you posted from Dang.
From Dang. Diary of the Nigerian girl. Have you?
Yeah, that one.
Okay. I
About
forgot to share the update. There was an update today. I saw update today.
Okay. Oh, I she saying was she able to do the video, whatever? The
She
video.
wasn't allowed to she wasn't allowed to see the lady, so she did a video call.
Yeah.
Supervised.
Okay.
Mm.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I really.
So maybe we can just give a history of the gist for
Yeah.
those that have not heard the clinic.
You want to go ahead and do that?
If you don't mind, please, can you go ahead?
Okay. So in a nutshell, this lady lives in the UK. She's been there since she was 3 years old or something. And then she came to Nigeria at some point because her parents made it, some type of culture for them to visit Nigeria often so that they keep in touch with their Nigerian roots. And then she met a guy during one of those visits, and they started a relationship and everything. So when she went back to the UK, she did everything to help him, to come over and all of that. And well, blah 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 in the process. So she I think she read law or something. Okay, she had even probably started practicing or what have you. And then her dad got her an apartment which she put up for rent and moved to some type of um low income, whatever, with a guy, just so that, they could build together and whatnot. But then the guy kind of like eats the fact that he was into drugs, from her, right from the onset. And so, of course, by way of association, she also got involved in drugs and blah and blah. And apparently, because she wasn't, getting out of it, the guy was not getting out of it. They were both doing drugs. Her parents cut her off, and then at some point, the guy, went into rehab. She gave her money. She was kind of like the one that helped him to get into rehab. Paid for all of that and everything while she was still out there doing drugs. And of course, the guy came out from rehab, all clean and everything, and started avoiding her, telling her that they said he should, stay clear of whatever, anyone or any environment, that could make him relapse and go back, into taking drugs. So anyway, the guy had deserted her. She was able to convince her mom to please help her get into rehab. And the mom took her back and dropped her and told her that the next time she would, set eyes on her would be when she is, totally clean and, free and everything. So anyway, she's been there for, I can't remember how many months now, but she's been lonely doing the journey, the rehab journey alone, and she reached out to Ife, because she heard that Ife was in London and was asking if Ife would, visit her, at least so that she could have something. She was really, a desperation touched me. She really was willing to be set free, so to speak, but then she needed someone to hold her hands. And she's been there all alone, no family, nothing. This guy that, she gave her all for, apparently, deserted her when she needed him most. So if that's outcry, which was mine too, when I read it, it really disturbed me, was why the women, why don't we choose ourselves? Why are we always sentimental, about everything? We make decisions, with our emotions. While the other gender that we are dealing with, they make emotions, logical. I said they make emotions. They make decisions, logically. Yet we will, bend over backwards. We will, give everything. We are too sentimental when it comes to, relationships and stuff. Giving of ourselves, putting ourselves last, when the people we are dealing with actually, would think of themselves first. Why do we do these things to ourselves? It really honestly bothered me when I read it. I mean, I don't understand. It's really pathetic. Engineer, what do you think? Because before I start, I start getting all riled up.
I know. And so for me, I used to really have all those women to learn how to be logical, it's. But one thing I also realized is that for women, most times, part of it is nature. Women by nature are more emotional than men on the average. And that's not a weakness. It can be a strength, because with the person that is emotional, you are digging deeper than just, you're going on levels that are just beyond, not everything is logical. I don't know how to explain it. You're able to live on what you can see. And I think for me, that, so for example, a woman can come into, or she can meet a new person, and more or less her intuition kind of tells her this person may not be the best of people, may not have the best of intentions for me. And a good number of men that have wives that have developed their emotional intelligence well enough, many times they will tell you that my wife just told me that I should be careful with that man. Maybe she just met him and they spoke for 2 or 3 minutes, or maybe she didn't even speak much. She was just observing, and from his non-verbal gesticulations and all, she was able to pick out that this guy is a scammer, for example. And I will go scriptural now and talk about Pilate's wife. It was Pilate's wife that told Pilate that, see, this man that they are bringing to you, be careful with how you do things. So where I'm going with all of that is that being emotional in itself is not the bad thing. But I think what happens is that because a lot of us, even as parents, don't even understand the issue of emotional intelligence. From the background, this young lady, I don't believe that she was grounded. Her parents helped her in being grounded. And you have usually groomed or nurtured for relationships, and the training is not usually rounded. So there's always that, so you should be able to stand up for yourself. But if you dig deep into her history, this young lady, you'll be amazed that there are reasons why she feels like she needs to be with someone. And so she will probably take decisions that are detrimental to herself because without a man, she's nothing. For example, a good number of people, we want everyone to be strong, but not everybody is that way. And we need to, and I'll also, at some point, I'd like to talk about the guy himself. I don't necessarily think the guy himself is a, a fully terrible human being. I think he himself also probably has some background issues. I think we don't have enough information to be able to judge either of them well enough. But
Okay.
I feel the frustration of her not choosing herself. But I believe that we don't have enough information. We don't know how her parents made her feel as a child. We don't know. Yeah, she was a successful lawyer, but is she whole or was she whole? How come she was so easily influenced by someone she just met to start using substances? So
I want to react to some of the things you said. So, number one, yeah, I would probably kind of like agree that women are more intuitive, but I don't think that being intuitive is the same thing, is, how do I want to say it now, is completely or automatically, synonymous with, being emotional. All right. Because now let's see. Sometimes women are intuitive about something. You know that, oh, this thing, this guy, for instance, let's use relationship. You see, in fact, sometimes you even see the red flags, you see everything. It's not even about intuition now, or maybe you have some, intuitive, checks, and you know that, this thing that, this guy, blah, 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 this thing that I'm seeing, yet, the emotional, so that is where the emotion comes, the emotional part of you now, the sentimental part of you now begins to rationalize and this and that. So anybody can be intuitive, and while women may be, maybe more intuitive than men, maybe the point is, even if women are more intuitive than men, there's a part of being intuitive, and then there's a part of now either applying your emotions or your your logical reasoning, in dealing with what, the text you have in your spirit as regards, what your intuition is telling you. So sometimes women, yes, their intuition tells them, something, but then they rationalize it because they are bringing emotion into it. So I still think that it is important, to start applying some form of logic, I think it's better to be more objective, well, maybe because I analyze, but I just feel that it's important to, not be too sentimental, bringing sentiment into everything. Sometimes it's important to actually, reason these things out logically and, come to a logical conclusion about certain things. Okay, so that's one. Now, I completely agree with you, about the grooming, of course, maybe, and yeah, practically, in our setting, that's what it is. The average woman, the average girl is groomed, for a relationship, is groomed to feel like I have to be with a man before I can feel complete, or or before I feel fulfilled, or before I'm even fulfilled. That is the truth. But the thing now again is, how do we, because if we continue to say, okay, this is how I'm groomed, this is how I was groomed when I was young, and then you stay put there, even when it is detrimental. You can't continue to blame your upbringing. Yes, upbringing has a lot to do, but as an adult, you have to. So what's the place of learning, relearning, unlearning? So so because you were groomed in a particular way, and it's detrimental, to you, to your life, your adult life now, you now remain there. Everybody should seek help. Honestly, that is the truth. If you keep saying, okay, it's how I was, it's my childhood, You can't keep blaming everything on your childhood. Now that you know better, now that you're an adult, you need to, if it's necessary, go and seek help. You need to take, decisions for yourself now and stop blaming it on, how your parents raised you. Although that's also important, you can't underestimate that. But I think it's actually weak to now stand there and say, well, this is how I was raised. So I feel that women need to do better for themselves. That's what I just feel. Anyway, now, lastly, talking about the guy. In all honesty, the guy staying away from her, I wouldn't really, I won't bash him so much because yes, he has to steer clear of anything that, would draw him back to, substance use. That is the truth of the matter, because it's one of the things that can make him relapse quickly if he goes back, to being with her when she has not yet, gone to rehab and is not yet clean. But I think that he shouldn't have abandoned her completely. So while he's probably, staying away, he could still have reached out to her from afar, at least check up on her, see how she's doing, and the rest like that. So I think he didn't do well in that regard. So do you have
Okay,
any?
so am I?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I hear everything you said, but I assume that what you said was that really him going to get into the trenches with her was also going to actually possibly affect his own recovery, but he could have been a better human and at least try to help her get help and not walk away and leave her in the cold. That was cold. But then again, you also have to think about it. There's a mindset that predisposes someone to becoming an addict. And there's some level of selfishness involved there, possibly. And maybe he was just playing out his natural way, the way he is as a natural person, as a person, which is not a nice person anyway. And for me, I think the beautiful part of the story for me was the lady realizing that she wasn't going to get help from this guy, because sometimes I feel like a good number of women in particular, after they've gone through the phase where they've loved up and exhausted their love on the wrong person and the person has thrown their love back in their faces, I feel like a lot of us sit by the rivers of Babylon weeping, thinking of how he did you bad, how he did me dirty. So, it's going and you're just there. Every time someone meets you, you spend 3 hours, 4 hours talking about the terrible things this person did to you. But I think the thing for me that I find lovely in that story is the fact that she realized that, Falabi is not going to help me. And she reached out to her parents. For me, it's a beautiful thing. You see someone, for example, she will say, this guy has done me dirty. Yes, So you're asking her, so what do you want to do with your life? And she's spending 4 hours cyber still telling you the things that went wrong with her. And you're like, what do you want to do? And you're back to, if you know what he did to me yesterday, and you're like, okay, yeah, he did it. That's bad. So what do you want to do? So I'm quite, would I say, impressed with the lady that even in her drug-induced state, she had enough sense to act like the prodigal child and go back home. And I also like to say that I'm quite appreciative of the fact that her mom took her in and at least tried to get her help with a lot of boundaries. I realized that I think that's where another point of the logic versus emotion also plays out. Because in her dad's case, he's just approaching it logically. She's a drug addict, bye-bye, go. But the mom is like, yeah, she's a drug addict, but she's still my child. She's my child. So the emotions are coming in, but they are coming in and they are mixed with logic in this case. So you can see, yes, I'm going to try to get her help, but I'm going to. But from the feedback I got today, apparently she's going to be moving back home when she's done with her when
Yeah.
she's done. And she had a job. She was fired from the job because of the drug use. But the update we got today is that because she has now checked into rehab, the
Okay.
company said that they will be willing to take her back on a probation basis
Probation. Oh
as
wow,
long as
that's
she's
great.
free.
Mm.
And so for me, I think eventually it's a story of redemption. It probably started out
Yeah.
bad. Someone did
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
dirty
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
all of that. And a good number of us, that's where we stop our story. And then
Mm.
you're 85, you're still telling someone about something someone did to you when you were 30. Because you didn't move on. You sat
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So for me, I think
It
the
is.
beauty of the story is that, yeah, she made bad decisions, but
Oh,
she found
we
her way
all
back.
do. Yeah. And I, I,
And
I
I
really do for her sake that this time she would at least, um, choose herself before any other. Oh.
just can't hear again. I can hear you now.
Yeah, I said that I hope for her sake that this time, this second chance that she has, she's going to, do better for herself. She's going to choose herself. I really do hope for her sake. Because I think at some point, it's like maybe what the parents also did, like they've tried, they kept trying to rescue her. So it's not as if the dad even cut her off just like that. A number of times he came to her rescue, but then when they just discovered that, well, it seemed like she was hell bent on going down the rabbit hole. They said, okay, do your thing. And it's just like we say in Yoruba, "Omo ma pa mi." When about to this stage come, I just okay, "Omo ma para," like I can't come and go and die.
Yeah. I
So,
can't come and go. So, I just wanted to add that. I just wanted to show that thing I was saying about being totally logical versus
logical.
mixing
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
emotions. Emotions in themselves are not bad because
But
the
emotions,
more
no,
that
no, no,
even
they
the
are
Bible
not.
says,
They are not. Emotions are good. They are good. I mean, good stuff. You have to be emotional because that's part of who you are. I mean, but
mm-hmm,
then don't be too emotional. That's what we are talking about here. Like allow, some logical reasoning too. Because I won't even say that guys are not emotional beings. I think that is one of the cliches is that we have around that guys, or because the society grooms them not to show emotions. I don't think they are, that guys aren't emotional beings. They are, every human has that emotional side. But what we just have is
mm-hmm.
that women, are too, when it comes to emotions, they are, extreme. And then, well, men, even when, they are in touch with their emotions, they are still kind of like, they approach things more logically. That's what that's what I'm saying. And I think that women should, move to that point too, where everything is not about sentiments. Try and, apply some logic too, in your dealings.
I think we've talked enough about this. We are
Yeah, we
probably
talked
over
enough
30
about
minutes.
this. No problem. So, um, our audience will tell us what they think, about it. But this is what, we think. All right.
Yeah, it's
Okay, so
nice to see you as well.
nice to stay with you too. Catch up another time. Hopefully, maybe Cynthia will join us then.
Amen. So we have come back from our Japan move.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of Gist Arena. We hope you enjoyed the topic discussed. Please drop your comments and let us know what you think about it. We'll definitely love to hear from you. Until next time, bye!